the Buddha talked about training in mindfulness as the direct path to liberation. So to really plumb the possibilities of mindfulness, I think requires an increasingly nuanced understanding of what the term actually refers to. So as you say, for many people, if if we consider, okay, well, what is mindfulness? Perhaps the first response might be, well, living in the present, really paying attention to the present moment, which of course is the foundation, of any kind of understanding.
And no small thing.
No small thing. It does require a practice, but being in the present is really not enough. And just an example I often use, maybe you're familiar with black labs or golden retrievers, or
I have a
really,
yellow lab at home, right?
okay, really playful, friendly dogs. Well, they're living in the present. They're really in the present, mostly in the world of scent, of smell, but they don't really look that mindful. So mindfulness means something more than just being in the present.
Mhm.
So already we're enlarging the scope of its meaning a bit, because the black lab or the golden retriever, they're paying attention in a certain way,
Mhm.
but not really being mindful. So mindfulness, a further dimension of it, is kind of an observing power of the mind, where we actually know that we're knowing something.
Mhm.
We know that we're observing something. So that's giving another, a greater fullness to it.
So it's kind of a
Uh,
reflective capacity,
exactly.
and we don't know for sure exactly what's going on with my yellow lab, but it seems like there's probably not a great depth of self-reflective capacity.
No, I don't think so. So I call that kind of reflective capacity, or uh, kind of the observing power of the mind.
Hmm.
But that also still is not quite does not quite capture the fullness of mindfulness, because we can be observing different aspects of our experience, either internal experience or the world outside, through a filter of many different mind states. So we could be observing, for example, through a filter of desire or wanting, or through a filter of aversion or fear. So if we're observing through that filter, then it's not actually mindfulness yet, right? We're recognizing what's there. And so it's really the difference between recognition and mindfulness. So we're recognizing, but recognizing in a somewhat reactive way.
Hmm.
So here we're getting to really the depth of what mindfulness means,
Hmm.
where we are observing, we're recognizing, but with a mind that is free of greed or desire, wanting, free of aversion, and free of identification with what's happening. So it's a very profound state.
Hmm.
Now, sometimes people then might ask, well, can we be mindful of desire? Or can we be mindful of fear? And this itself becomes an interesting practice, to when we become aware of these particular qualities in the mind of desire or aversion. It's very interesting to observe that in the moment of being mindful of them, in that moment, the mind is not desiring, or the mind is not aversive. And that's precisely the liberating power of mindfulness.
Hmm.
It takes us out of that identification with these unskillful states of mind.